Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Smut Club, the podcast where smut is better with friends.
And friends we have here with us today.
The band's back together. Yes, cute. We did it. Unplanned.
Oh my God. We are all in our jammies because
It is 9
Sunday
a.m.
morning.
We rolled up to Anna's house at 8:30 a.m.
We have mimosas
Yes, we have
As we should.
mimosas.
on Anna hard planned and bought them not on a Sunday morning.
I did. I was like, hey, this is a weekday in which I can purchase alcohol in our tiny town. And so we made it happen.
You make it seem like we live in the middle of nowhere. We live in a city.
Small town.
I know.
Our
Tiny town.
Rural.
We live in a big
backwoods.
SEC town.
Yeah.
Katie Bird defending our city.
Yeah.
We just
It is a city.
They probably
It is
think
just
we
a-
live in the middle of nowhere.
One stoplight, yes.
It's not. We
There's
live in
one
a
red
city.
light.
There are more than one.
We have to go down to the
slam
pig.
of screen doors.
It
Yeah.
actually takes me about 35 minutes to get to Katie's.
We have
Yes.
to go to the Piggly Wiggly for anything. Just
Exactly.
No.
kidding. Do you know what a Piggly Wiggly
I know
is?
what a Piggly Wiggly
Okay,
is. We
you know
have
Pig-
one, I think.
Do we?
don't.
Yeah, it's like out in...
We're going.
No, we don't. We're
We-
going.
Yes,
We're
it's like
add that to the list.
in the Podunk town where we went to see the
There's one in
There's a Piggly
Oh, I believe
Wiggly.
that.
We're
I believe
going.
that.
Yeah.
There's one
a Wiggly Piggly.
going towards my lake house. There's one.
Yeah.
That's actually the only one near my lake house. That
Oh
is
my
a podunk
God.
town.
Wait, I mean, circle back to you have a family lake house?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going that
We
too.
can. Well, I'll add that to the list.
Okay.
Already did.
We're all
I put the
gonna
Piggly
get
Wiggly.
Lake
Perfect.
Jammies. We're all gonna go to the lake house. Okay. Things we are doing. Would we like to recap this on the pod?
Yes.
We have a shared note of a list of things that we want to do.
Things we are doing.
Things
no,
we-
these are
Things we
No,
are
when I made the note, I was like,
doing.
we are doing these
And there's
things.
always a emoji at the end of them.
So-
So go-karts. We have not
Go-karts.
done yet.
Savannah Bananas. It's important to note here that we have a man's face emoji. Who is this man?
Jackson Olsen.
Jackson Olsen.
So beautiful.
For any fans.
Taylor Swift concerts. That's the we're speaking.
Concerts.
Plural.
Plural.
So the movies don't count. That's us going in real life, and we're speaking it out there that
Yeah.
we're going to be able to attain 4 tickets.
The 10-day.
Well,
Speaking it now. We're
6
manifesting.
because we'll need the other 2 as well. Waffle House. Some of these we could attain quickly, so we need to hard plan that.
Yeah.
Wahoo.
A Disney trip, but then the boys will want to come.
Oh, we're running a
That's fine.
marathon.
We can do that.
That's right, yeah, Savannah's doing a half.
I'm going to do that.
We're going what?
Well,
gonna do-
I will. Y'all don't have to do it.
She's
with
running
me,
a half
but
marathon
I
in
should
Disney.
To be running on a vacation, but you know,
in-
I'm
But
sure
we're,
you
we're
will.
planning it
Disney.
around the half.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. They
I'd
have like
ride
a
with
mile
you.
run. They do a kid run. You
I'll
can do
do
that
it.
too.
So Brandon and I,
They have like a 100-yard
I'll hold a
dash or
sign.
something.
And say, go team.
Oh my gosh.
amazing. Yeah, we're not gonna hard plan a vacation. We rely on
Oh
them
my
to
God.
hard plan, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Y'all just let us know when to be there when our suitcase
we
is
can do
packed.
that.
Yeah.
Buttermilk Sky.
Okay, so
Condado.
I actually almost did that yesterday, but they ended up not coming, so I'm glad I didn't. But I almost picked up little pies for us, but I didn't. So,
Drink LITs.
I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are.
I'll take a
Going to a hockey game.
That's
We've marked-
easy. We can do that.
Escape room is marked out, so we have at least
We
done
did
one.
that.
We did that.
That video resurfaced.
We completed
recently.
it and we broke out.
Yeah.
We did break
Such a
out.
good
right.
We're
We
here
crushed
today.
Karaoke.
Okay.
Okay.
We do need to do that.
There's a place downtown and there's a place out that way.
I feel like we need a Taylor Swift only karaoke moment.
Yeah.
I would love that.
There was one the week before the Eras tour, maybe, but it was like on a weeknight.
Where?
You know what we are doing?
Near me.
Hope
Corner or
put it
something.
in the group. There's gonna be in our tiny town.
Yeah, the teeny tiny town
One stoplight town.
There's gonna be a Harry Styles Taylor Swift
dance party.
dance party.
We'll be there.
Because I feel like that's being
It's
built
by the
up.
railroad tracks, which is
Put
super
that in
fun.
the calendar.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel like that's
When is it?
November
November
17th.
17th. So
What if we have style
that's what
TV featuring Harry Styles?
So that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes,
We're
So
still
I think
holding out
that-
hope.
I think that means that like there's got to be a collab. This is
Surely.
in the hope that there's.
We're still holding out hope.
For the hope of it all.
Aw, the next one.
High School Musical marathon
Yes.
sleepover. Do you want to go ahead and get your thoughts out? Because we and her laid into her the last round.
Well, and everything y'all said, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we went.
Because I also went opening night. I had a watch party for the second one. We were having a school dance, and I was like, well, I'll be doing a watch party
Savannah.
instead at my house. And my friends came over, and we watched HSM2 together.
Yes,
Oh.
I had a
That
watch
is
party
so sweet.
in
So
my
good.
basement
Yep.
at my house, and I remember me and all my girls were sitting on the floor. We had a big blanket pallet on the floor,
Aw.
and then the very first time, like one of the early scenes in the movie is Troy and Chad playing basketball and Troy's not wearing a shirt, and we were all like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my god. In the locker room
forward
scenes.
to today.
It's also in the summer,
podcast.
so it takes place at the pool.
Yes.
So there's a lot of pool scenes.
Fabulous.
He jumps
That
into
is
the
our
water
simple
with Gabriella
request.
at one point, and I was like,
That was advantageous.
it was lovely. It was wonderful.
very good.
Season 2 is
And
very
his
good.
eyes are just the bluest things you've ever seen.
Oh my
I
god.
was fully obsessed.
They turned
Zac
that.
Efron was
They
it for
turned
me.
that like
Oh,
that
yeah.
contrast filter all the way up for these.
Katie and
movies.
I used to just text each other shirtless pictures.
Really?
I sent her like a BuzzFeed article, and it was like 14 photos of Zac Efron shirtless.
Just like screenshot of them all. I was
You're like, thank you.
Cabin Weekend and now the Piggly Wiggly.
The Piggly Wiggly. What are we gonna do at a Piggly Wiggly?
We're gonna get
Groceries for our late weekend.
We're gonna walk around and just soak up the ambiance.
Could the lake
and
house be considered a cabin?
Yeah, it is a cabin. So
Excellent.
That's two
it's a
in
cabin
one.
on the lake.
We are
That's
rolling.
3 in 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Perfect.
Gonna schedule it.
We
We're
need
gonna
to
bring
start
all
knocking
of our-
those
all
off.
children, all creatures. You're getting a Haas,
Hey.
a baby cat.
Oh,
And by
goodness.
baby, I mean he's 15 pounds.
He's a big baby.
Yes.
He's an angel.
Oh, not on season 2.
Okay, yeah,
before we
that's
jump
a recap.
in, before we jump into the recap, it was nice already making season 2 notes without none of y'all in there because I could type freely. And
much as you
there was no delay, and I was going to town. There's emojis in here. There's nice paragraphs. That's all.
You were
me.
able to just auto or like
Yes.
correct your words.
He's
that
allowed
you
to
spelled.
backspace.
I can actually. Yeah, there's no Haley's in there.
No Haley's.
Dinged in.
Okay, where are we
Okay,
at? for the-
Brandon, hit us with the 1 through 6 recap
Oh God.
because we're gonna do episode 7 and 8.
It's going to be really accurate. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
about
God.
this recap. Okay. Episode
Okay.
1.
So, we're going. Wait. So Penelope.
Penelope.
Yeah, like yellow dress. Her now being whistle, whatever it is.
Yes.
So I like the story the way it's going. I'm enjoying this. Crap, I shouldn't have watched season 2 now because now I'm starting to
well,
think
let's-
too ahead.
Okay, so what do you think about Penelope broadly? So who is Penelope into?
What?
Who is
Who does she love?
Who does she love?
Oh,
Who's her
the
crush?
third one.
ABC.
Yes. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in a test right now.
No, you actually are. It is Colin.
Okay. Hello. Still love her. Thank you. Still love her. She's doing great.
Episode 1 notes don't exist anymore.
You're right.
Oh, did you delete them out?
Sure did.
So the tensions building between her and the other girl, the rebellion that we like,
Eloise.
Eloise. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying their little commentary, their little banter. I just love them.
They're besties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
their
I really
friendship is
love
sweet.
Eloise and the middle brother,
Benedict.
Benedict. Yeah, I love their relationship, and I love how it progresses through season 2.
And sitting on the swing and just
Really sweet.
They're so cool. You can tell they have each other's back.
Yeah.
You know, as a
Yeah.
whole big family. Yeah, and the feathers, whatever. They're
Featherington.
all
The
annoying.
feathers.
Yeah, they're all just annoying.
Yeah. Correct.
Agreed.
The
really are.
whole betting scene, and then him losing the life.
Betting.
Like, does he? They walked in the 2 dudes, but the 2 dudes figured it out. I think that's how it went.
Yeah.
And they made him drink poison, and that's how he lost
Rip.
his life. I
He's-
think.
yeah, he gone.
Okay, so
Bye.
that's what that meant.
He gone.
That was
Did not affect me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that
So
was
anyway.
that was different but cool. What else? Yeah, the feathers, whatever, they're there.
The feathers are there.
The
they
feathers
really
are
are
there.
there to be like the
It's just the B plot.
yeah,
Except for
it's the
Penelope.
B
Yeah.
plot. But Penelope is A plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Antony's little side mistress, the opera singer.
Sienna.
I feel bad for them. I really wish it was going to kind of work out.
Well,
maybe.
we've kept that more.
Yeah.
That's one of my notes.
Yeah,
I had
I
thoughts
feel
about
bad.
I have thoughts about that too.
Yeah, I feel bad that they're not together.
Well, he works it out.
When did he work it out?
I mean, you're in season 2 right now, and
Yeah.
obviously he's not going to end up with Sienna.
Right, but I could feel when they were talking at the outside the door, I could just feel his like heartbreaking. I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Which I hate that for him, but also,
like,
what
he
did he
kind of
expect?
deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you got to have someone tell you what you're doing wrong so you can fix it
Yeah.
for the next person.
Bravo,
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
Having some self-respect and like, hey, this is what I need. This hurts me too. That was really inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am gonna look forward to season 2, Antony. I hope there's more inclusive with Benedict and
Yes. Colin.
Yeah,
Good.
still loving him. Oh, he's adorable. He's so sweet. So he's still on the good
Baby.
list. Daphne, I'm ready to wrap all this up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm ready for it to be done.
For the
And,
little British lady.
Yeah, I'm ready to wrap all that up.
Yeah.
And we already talked about Eloise. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
And who's F?
Francesca.
which is
who-
the older, young, middle sister.
Yeah, and then there's one more boy, younger.
Yeah,
She's younger
and
than
that's
Eloise.
Gregory.
George. Gregory.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good guess. Yeah, Francesca,
Basic G
I will
names.
stand by When He Was Wicked is her book, and she is a widow. And so I think that's a fun, I mean, that's kind of a spoiler for that book, but that's a really fun twist because she's very, like, sexually educated.
Experienced.
She's very experienced, but she had kind of vanilla sex with her ex. And then she's with this man who's loved her, like, loved her first, like, loved her behind the scenes, like, his best friend. Such a good plot.
Okay,
Like,
I
love
really,
it.
no, I
would
highly
read that.
recommend that one. And she's just spicy and knows what she wants.
I
And,
love the Teach Me.
Oh, it's really like she knows what she wants, but she wasn't necessarily satisfied with her sex life, and then he died. And, oh man, so good. So Francesca looked like a baby in this,
she-
but I'm
yeah,
like, oh,
she-
Francesca
yeah.
gets wild later on.
Yeah.
So that's like
She
a,
grows up.
yeah, Francesca grows up.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Perfect.
Okay, so you recapped the entire season to this point.
Yeah,
Sure.
Very good.
I think so. Very
Great
fast
work.
motion.
Yeah, those are all
It was
the
better than
highlights.
last
Those
time,
were
I think.
all the plot lines.
That
Yeah.
you did it. Great work.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're doing episodes 7 and 8, y'all,
Yes.
because we, you know what? Sometimes we take a minute to get through these, and that's the beauty.
Yeah, and we tend to be pretty loquacious when we're on these podcasts, and so we've had
Pretty
a lot of-
what?
Welcome to vocab.
Yeah,
with Katie
loquacious
Bird.
means that we talk a lot. We got lots to say.
Oh,
Hermione is
Loquacious.
Yes.
You know, one of my only accomplishments in life is that I made a perfect score in the vocab section of the ACT.
oh.
That's I'm not.
That's
good at
a
lot of things, but
that's a bar trick kind of.
I know.
Yeah.
I shocked myself.
Yeah. Did
So
you
anyway,
know
that
I
was
made a
15
perfect score on
years
ACT?
ago. 10
Yeah,
years ago.
I feel like there's always a part in this podcast recordings. There's a Brandon learns the women's anatomy 3-minute to 5-minute
It's in
sections
vocab.
if Katie allows it, and doesn't cut it out. And then there's also a
I
word
just put
that
out the
Katie
parts
will
where we're
use.
watching porn on the podcast.
Oh.
It's a new segment. Porn on the pod.
Porn on the pod.
Kind of like porn on the pod, but porn on the pod.
There's always a segment where
Make
Savannah.
a little chime, a little jingle for it. Porn on the pod. Porn on the pod.
Oh God, I didn't realize Hobbs was behind
split
you.
it.
Wake up for porn on the pod.
We'll do it in harmony. Porn on the pod.
Like an old Southern gospel radio station.
Oh,
Like
God.
a country song. On the pod.
Ew.
Also, we just watched.
Was it in my teeth and no one told me?
No, none in your teeth.
The newest episode of the Great British Baking Show.
Oh my God, did you watch it last night? We watched it too.
Truly, active spoilers. If you are watching Great British Baking Show, don't listen to this. But
Also, this is on subject because Bridgerton, British. Great
Yeah,
British Baking
same
Show,
thing.
Okay.
British.
Are you
So,
gonna allow it?
Did
I'm
you
gonna
watch
allow it.
last night with Chocolate Week?
yes.
Oh my God.
Tasha, I'm so scared.
Is she okay? She
I
had a
think she's coming
migraine.
back. She's coming back.
I'm so glad that Maddie did so well. That was adorable.
He's hot.
I know he is hot. He's muscly and he's so hot.
He's got tattoos all the way up his arm.
Yeah, I think Allison.
He's very hot.
We now know how to keep something in the pod that doesn't get deleted. If Katie's really interested in
Sexualize
it, it won't be deleted out. So now we have to make sure the judge and jury over here is involved in the conversation and won't get
Y'all
removed.
act like I'm just clipping out every single thing you say
You
in
are.
this podcast.
We are-
out to get us.
Yeah.
As if these episodes aren't 2.5 hours long.
Her table, she leaves in quite a
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, but every podcast, I get women's anatomy. You eat something, Savannah. You use a vocabulary
another
word that I
segment.
question. And
Last time it
Anna
was
has
cherry.
thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, I have thoughts and feelings of vocabulary words. Anna needs to go off on a mental health rant about something
Last
that
week
everyone
we were-
just silently is like, oh, okay.
we used the word cherub, and Brendan was like, "What's a cherub?"
Not sure.
Or like a baby naked angel.
Like Cupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have many segments on the pod. That's kind of the fun predictability of it all.
And sometimes the segments are just exist for one episode.
Sometimes we pause and it's just a momentary segment.
Like the rant about retail. Like that's not a segment we're ever gonna revisit.
No, we're not.
But it stayed in there.
It did.
It did.
That
Thank
was
you.
educational.
Chime in, smutisbetterwithfriends@gmail.com if you liked that segment about retail.
Y'all better vote
I
yes.
liked it.
We loved it.
Stayed in my head.
The Taylor Swift drinking game of it all is always in every segment.
Every
Speaking
single.
of which, this morning, so we had to start a little early. They had to roll up a little early to my house, which I may or may not have been dressed yet. But they
Oh.
all had, or we had to do Brandon's nails.
Yes.
And so Brandon is absolutely adorable with his Eras tour.
I feel so Taylor.
You are
It's really
so
cute.
Taylor.
There's no, I don't know what else I'm gonna be able to put on my body. I already have
Like this is your new
bracelets
nanny.
under my
This
elbows.
is-
I have my nails. What else can I do? I have merch on.
Merch.
Yeah, I need a tattoo.
That's
Do
it.
you have
That's
any
next.
tattoos?
Yeah.
I don't have any.
I don't either.
Okay,
So
we're good Christian babies.
oh,
The body is a temple.
I am a
No,
nun.
I'm just afraid. I'm just afraid of
My
It does not hurt.
I have no ink on my body and my butthole is pure. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway. Pouring on the...
Blood on the pod. Blood on the pod.
You gotta keep it. I mean, at this point, yeah, you're worse than Conrad. God. It just came out.
It's got a real mournful down to the river to pray energy. We've got a real brother art there.
What did I do last week? Grab it before you tap it. This is not an advice pod. Yeah.
Anyway, in
Sorry.
episode 7.
So
Anyways, we watched this show so we can recap it for y'all. We will.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, does Jesus talk about butt sex? My bad. We've lost control.
Anyway, if any of y'all are musically inclined, can you make us a jingle?
Could you please pour it on the pod and
Up the butt.
Actually, we would rather have up the butt.
Episode 7. Let's get
and
this
by
started.
that I mean you're already stuck.
Who knew 2 episodes of us trying to record would actually take much longer than doing 3? Who knew?
Oh, good job, buddy.
You did so great, so great. So we are on episode 7.
Yes.
Yay. We are trying to find my notes. I've gone too far. There they are. She starts off where she goes to he's out there. Okay, episode 7. Here's where we're starting. Daphne and Simon. God, I'm getting names now. Finally.
Yes, you are.
I'm a repetition learner. It takes me a minute to get there. They're angry. We're back to them fighting still.
Yes.
They're still in the middle of their disagreement and disgruntles about their marriage and the pulling out of it all.
You know,
And
if I was married at 16 or 17, that's exactly how I would do it too.
probably. Oh
Hey.
yeah, her playing the piano while he's
The angrily
shooting the disc
playing the
outside.
piano.
Oh,
Yeah.
the angry playing of the piano.
He looked hot shooting discs.
He did.
I would love to be angrily playing piano about a man not putting it in me while looking
Yeah.
out and seeing him shooting discs. I'm like,
And
yeah.
he's angry too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
so hot, angry.
angry piano playing, that's feminine rage.
I'll get
right
married
there.
to him and have no kids. I'm perfectly
Taylor
fine with that.
Swift at her piano. Just,
Simon, come
are you
on.
fucking serious right now?
Have you seen the Olivia Rodrigo shot too? Of she's like, somebody said like, oh, he's just a boy, get over it, and she's like, yeah, I agree, but then she just starts writing, and then she picks up speed and she just starts writing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like,
actually,
are
I
you
have
fucking
things to
serious?
say about
Piece of
this.
shit?
Are you fucking serious?
I mean, I think that sounds pretty great. I'll marry Simon in a heartbeat. And I had no kids. Well, I think
to fight with Simon.
I think little Brandons would be fun running around, but then I feel like that would be
They would be really cute.
my pure chaos gay life of what did I say last week? My gay
33.
30-year-old gay life. And the amount of
gay-year-old
that I've seen, the amount of titties I've seen this past couple weeks now has amplified the entire life. I feel like I would get payback of the chaos I've caused in my
You would
33
get
years,
wild and crazy.
and I would get a little hellion.
That would be so sweet, though. You would be the perfect
Brandon
fit
little
for a
hellion.
little hellion. Do you want littles?
I mean, maybe one would be enough.
Sweet.
I don't know how you're doing too.
It's a lot.
One is a full.
One is
Two
enough,
babies
and I
plus a
need.
baby dog is a
To be
lot.
fair, you did not necessarily plan that.
Yes,
Yeah.
the second one did come quite
She's not actually
quite
crazy.
sooner than it anticipated. But,
Yeah, but we're here.
And
but
he's
he's a
an angel.
sweet angel
Absolutely
baby. Yeah.
thrilled that he's here.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Just was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. I would
It
need a
turns out
man to help me
You
out.
have sex and that's what happened.
Shout out to single moms. I don't know how y'all are doing it.
Yeah.
I want one and with a man to help me, and that is enough.
yeah, an active parent.
Or 7
that
more
is
cats.
something that I
whatever
did say last night. I was like, we had such a great time, and the boys honestly did great. Could have been a little bit helpful if
you were
We're
possibly
there.
I had had some help.
yeah,
A partner to help.
It
Not
could
that
have
you all
been-
weren't help, but
it's different to have like their parents.
someone
Yeah.
that I feel very good about saying, go get your child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Go do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was the very first minute.
There.
That was
Yeah,
minute one.
Daphne, that was scary when I was watching it the first time. I'm like, is she pregnant? Like, I didn't know. Like, what's gonna happen?
I know.
It was intense.
This episode is just like really dramatic for
Yeah.
the most part. Like she tells, they're just being very like prim and proper with each other, and she's like, "I shall require my space,
Your grace.
your grace."
grace.
It's like okay,
When they address each other as your grace.
yeah, it's so passive aggressive.
Oh man.
We're not doing that again, sir. 411. Do you have 4?
I have 7.
Oh, I don't put no protect I put Colin, but I said no, protect Cam Cameron. I mean Colin at all costs.
Do protect.
This is when
Though you might change your tune a little bit
For what?
after season 2.
Really? Well, in season 2, he comes back. He's got the little facial hair, and I was like, oh, I love him. So cute.
He's not the sweet Colin in
he
season 2.
grows up and gets so worldly.
At 9, Daphne goes. So the story goes, aka so it goes. TV.
Yes.
Take a drink.
So it goes.
Yeah. Also, Daphne really cares for Colin.
She does.
Like a lot.
It's-
Maybe it's because they're grouped together more.
Their sibling, I just, I know we all have different stories and different relationships in our families, but I love the Bridgerton sibling dynamic.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
And I think that is a testament to Violet, and like there's that, I know these are fictional characters, but it's just really tender. It's really sweet how they all love each other.
They do. It's really sweet.
Even when they're hateful and terrible, they're still a team. They're the team Bridgerton.
That's right. So at 7 minutes and 33 seconds, Daphne is talking to her mom. And she's pretty upset with her mom because her mom didn't tell her about the marital relations.
The marital act. No,
The marital act. Which, like, I would be pissed too. And she says to Violet, pretending that nothing is amiss is a perfect way to lure the ignorant into submission.
Isn't it, Mama? That's the note I
Yes. Isn't it, Mama? Like, directly to her. Like, she's tired of being the last to know.
Yeah. I had a note on this, and this is where I said, I hear Daphne, and I feel her pain. Honestly.
Yeah,
just, sitting there being like, how could you send me out into the world knowing nothing? And I was thinking about that, and like, I think that my heart hurt a little bit for both of them. It hurt for Violet too, because truthfully, I started to think about myself, and I was like, okay, I had a lot of unfortunate sexual things happen to me younger, and won't share details about that. But, I had things happen, and I was thinking, like, would that have happened to me had I been educated on things? And then I think about, like, who am I actually mad at as far as that goes? Because, like, she's very obviously mad at her mom. And I'm thinking, like, am I mad at my mom? Am I mad at the person who took advantage of me? Like, who am I mad at? Because I think about my anger tends to go towards my mom. And I'm like, how could you do this to me? How could you not tell me more about this? But then I think about it a little bit more, and I'm like, there's a really good chance my mom thought she was doing what was best. And so am I mad at her? Because what if my mom had also been better educated? What if, as a society, we made women feel like we could talk about this? Like, am I actually mad at my mom, or am I mad at the way women are just educated about sex
this
in
is
general? And my mom is the person that's here to get mad at. So it's like, it's such a complicated range of emotions. Exactly.
Both are valid.
And
parents,
it's just hard.
It is appropriate and healthy for parents to give accurate sex education. That is their responsibility. We understand that Regency era was completely different, but it still is parents' responsibility to equip their children to live in this world. And these are systemic problems.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I think about, like, for Violet. I'm like, Violet might have thought she was doing what was best, because she even says that later. I think it might be in episode 8, but she says that. She's like, I know I don't always say the right thing, and when I do say things, they might not be very helpful, or they might not be what you want to hear or something. So she's like, I'm trying.
That's taking ownership, though.
And it is, like, my heart just broke, I think, for Violet. Like, I think if I had watched Bridgerton prior to having kids, I would have been like, yeah, Violet sucks, she should have told you this.
But you had such compassion.
Then I had kids, and I was like, moms really are just doing their best.
Yeah,
they're trying.
I know that there are probably some parents who don't need to be parents, but I would really argue that 90 to 95% of parents do not wake up and think, how can I not prepare my children for life? How can I be a bad parent today? Parents wake up and they just do their best, and sometimes their best isn't great, but they're doing their best. And I think that that's what was happening here. But that's the thing, is like, I'd be mad too if I was Daphne, because she feels stupid.
Right. Yeah.
And so I get it, like that embarrassed feeling, that, just like, oh my gosh, if I had known, this would have never happened. But then at the same time, I imagine Violet's probably like, I didn't know what to do. Well, this is the first time I've had this conversation with a girl, so this is the first time, like, my sister's sex education was so much better than mine, because I was the first girl. And so it was just, my mom didn't know what she was doing. She could have handled it worlds better, as we were, as I mentioned. It could have been handled a lot better, but it took me growing up and being like, hey, that was actually extremely unhelpful. So maybe for my sister, we do this a little differently. And now I know I have 2 boys, and so maybe conversation does look a teeny bit different, but I'm going to be talking to them about the same stuff. I mean,
Right.
I'm teaching them about their bodies a little bit different than I would teach a daughter, but I'm going to be telling them the same stuff. I mean, I'm going to make sure they're educated across the board. And
with multiple partners too. That makes me think of the president's the president in Red, White, and Royal Blue, where she's like, "Oh," and she takes ownership. She's like, "I'm sorry, I just assumed.
Yeah.
Like, let me teach you more about." And he's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, are you staying safe?" And it's really beautiful.
that was a conversation that was in, I mean, we can move back to Bridgerton because this is going back to Red, White, and Royal Blue, but that was a conversation that was not had with me until my cousin came out, and I was about to go into high school, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was a conversation that was just never had with me. And then, you know, we talked about it, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And Mom was like, you don't have any questions? Like, you don't want to talk about it? And I was like, no, I mean, good for him.
Sounds great.
But it was just something that wasn't immediately presented to me. It was
Fair.
female male sex, and that was the only
Yeah.
thing that I was talked about. Like, I just didn't even know it was an option.
The show, they go into it a lot to it. They like make it explicit. They're like, hey, we need to be talking about all partners, like
Yes,
how
absolutely.
to be safe and enjoy yourself pleasurably with all partners. So it's helpful. I want to say one thing for like the three, I think you said like 99.9. So for like the 1% of folks who are listening who are like, I think that maybe my parents didn't.
Absolutely.
Because that's who I work with, that you know is people who are having these questions. They're like, if this was the best my parent could do, then like, am I the problem? And I just want y'all to hear that like sometimes people are not doing the best that they can as parents. They're thank goodness they're a smaller percentage, but some people have different motives
Absolutely.
in parenting, and it's self-serving, and there are some people out there who are not okay, and that's not your fault. If your parent harmed you in any way, or if your parent intentionally did not equip you to function in society, such as like the Duggars, or in some cases me.
Yeah.
Then,
no, absolutely.
That was self-serving and ignorant, and you know, we can have forgiveness and kind of move on with our lives, but there are some parents who need to work through their own stuff, and I'm sorry that falls on anyone's shoulders, because you were just a teen, and you were, you know, if whoever's listening to this and thinking like, ouch, then, you know, be inspired by the healthy parents around us, and everyone is deserving of love.
And it's also okay if you do, like, I know for me in high school, I do personally believe that my mom honestly was doing her best. It was just not great. Her best was just not awesome.
You can objectively say that, which is great.
But I developed such a close relationship with my friend's mom, and that's okay. Like, if you do develop close relationships with other parents in your life, I know that it hurts when it's not your parent, because you so desperately want it to be your parent, and I get that, but it is just safe adults. Yeah, and it is. I mean, there absolutely are parents that just have no business being parents. Truthfully,
it's hard.
Yes, and it's just, or they decided to have children for inappropriate reasons, and that's not yours. That's not your fault. But it does. But now it is yours, and it's been unfortunately made yours. And
it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Yeah. And I just want to speak hope to everyone that like you can find safe adults at whatever. Like I'm an adult, and I'm 31, and I'm still finding like mentors and like older like people who can be like, oh my God, I could get choked up thinking about Katie's mom. Just like a loving adult presence of just like non-judgmental, supportive, kind. It just, they're out there, and sometimes it's hard. It's kind of like after going through a bad breakup and then like learning to trust again and love again. And it makes me think of the mom in the Eras Tour movie.
Oh yeah, the bracelet.
Who was like, I'm everyone's mom now. Yeah. Like I'm a safe, affirming, supportive mom, and I'm your mom now.
I think that we've talked about it before too, where I mean, chosen family is just as valid and so important.
You're speaking to chosen family.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, I mean, just because you were born into this family doesn't mean you owe them anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Truthfully, it was not your choice.
Yeah, we deserve to be safe and loved.
Yes.
And sex ed, you know, the internet is a lot of things, but I am glad that folks have access to information now.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
Absolutely.
Appropriate sex education, because knowledge is power, and especially when vulnerable folks are empowered with appropriate, accurate information, we're able to stay safe. So that's just a word of wisdom.
It is.
We're not an advice
It's a hard
podcast.
relationship to navigate.
This is not an advice podcast.
But we are
Just a
thankful.
discussion.
We're thankful to the parents out there, especially the young parents in our generation, who are really taking this seriously.
Yeah.
And
We're doing
it's such a gift to have Savannah here to speak
We're doing
to
our
that.
best.
We doing your best.
Yeah.
Good enough.
That's all you can
parenting.
do. Yes.
Good enough.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
A safe, warm, attuned presence.
Yeah.
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 Okay, we didn't see that coming. We didn't see a little sidebar into sex ed and parenting.
Y'all come bake cookies at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And it's going to make you feel good.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, you should. It's fun.
I cried for a couple days afterwards. I was like, oh my god, this is so healing and
This is so healing.
it was so great.
We just baked cookies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
We drank our wine and baked our
doesn't
cookies.
take much.
That sounds
Actually,
lovely.
It really doesn't.
just be kind to folks.
You had me at cookies and wine.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, 12 minutes. What are we doing, Brandon?
I put oh god, here we go.
What are we doing?
I put 1208. Oh my god, fighting led straight to stairwell labia findings. Jesus Christ. And then I
One of the
put
hottest.
was it?
Yeah. Oh, I love
The
that.
way
That's pretty
he
hot, yeah.
fucking swallows when he stands up, it's filthy.
Filthy.
Dirty.
Ew.
It was hot.
I didn't even notice
A
that.
bucket and a mop.
Yeah, that's
Ew.
right.
I put, oh my god, he said no. Is this the end? Is there no counseling back then?
Is there no counseling
No.
back then?
Yeah.
Mental
I
health
was-
did not
I was
exist.
sad.
in
Yeah.
the
We weren't
Regency
talking
era.
about any of that.
It's all a choice.
I was
Yeah.
sad because I really thought like I thought she was really trying to fight for it then, and I was like really kind of sad for it. I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was finally on the train.
You're like,
I was
wait, I want
shipping
y'all to
it.
be
Yeah.
together.
No, yeah, counseling didn't exist, and also like you couldn't really get divorced either, and
Yeah.
so it was just you lived separately. Like you were.
And so when
married
she
what she
was saying,
says.
when she was talking
Yeah.
to Violet and saying like we are going to separate at the
Yep.
end of the season, that
Yeah.
was their divorce. Basically, they're
We're
saying
gonna
we're
go our
going to
separate
have our own separate partners. We're going to live in separate homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
What is it? Simon says like we'll be married in name only. Mm-hmm. It's like
Heartbreaking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm so glad.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
I also put that Prince was laying in bed in perfect loaf and it was not a pawn sight, so I had to put
I'm
that
cute
in there.
at that note.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
then so we're done with labia findings.
I don't think we're done with labia
I don't
findings.
know. I don't know if we're gonna just skate past that actually.
So actually,
is
we're gonna
the hottest
park
scene.
there for a second because one of my favorite things about that was so this is a combination. If we're talking tropes, this is a combination of like in public. This is her family's home.
Yes.
On the stairwell.
This is on the stair. I mean, now do
I'm
I want
assuming
like
they were
a
there.
family member to find me? No, but like this
God,
is
no.
like the desperation. The like it's so hot. It's so hot.
It's really hot. It's like it's probably one of the top of the spicy scenes.
It's also just like you've been fighting. That's hot.
yeah. That's
was
right.
this one of the scenes that we rated last week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Okay.
included it because it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
But also, it's like
This was your
he's so angry
number
with
one.
her, but he's giving her pleasure. I think that's what
I
was
love
so like. Oh,
Man, written by
you.
a woman.
I mean,
Written by a woman.
he does. Yeah, it's a man written by.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along.
Brings that anyway.
Heterosex.
Hetero.
I mean, as far as heterosex goes, that's
It's pretty good.
yeah,
For pleasure, time.
yeah.
And
Sorry, that's
the
me
whole
chewing
time,
my
yeah. And the whole time I was just thinking, not for the sex part, but I was just thinking, I want them to be together. Like, for real. I was thinking
I
of
want
that.
them to be in love.
The hope for it all.
And we're like, we're fucking hate fucking.
God, I love it.
Yeah.
Fucking.
It was a hate fucking moment.
Yeah, and then in all caps,
Okay,
I put,
this is all caps. This
yeah,
note.
I put, oh my God, Colin, I don't even know what time it is. He can't
Be this.
be this. I know there's no space between B and this, but you can't undo our notes. He can't be this good of a guy and not care. Broken heart emoji insert. I typed out because I couldn't find.
Couldn't find it.
I just kept typing.
Yes, he says to Marina, if you had simply come to me and told me of your situation, I would have married you without a second thought.
Wild. That is.
Yeah. Colin,
Naive,
season 1
but-
Colin is, he's very pure and naive and very sweet.
Well, in season 2, he goes off on. This is getting ahead, but when Penelope Yellow Dress walks up to him when he comes back, and she was trying to inquire and dig if he had found someone, and he goes, "Oh well, when we were writing,
I found lots of...
I found lots, but it was with him, and he was self discoveries." And I was like, I know. Is that maybe that's just I haven't seen the rest, so the
I mean, we all still love Colin, but this is a very...
is he gonna turn into a whore?
This is a very common smut trope.
Yeah.
Where a man
Rake.
is very good and pure and very sweet.
And then
then
he
his
gets
heart
his
gets
wick wet.
broken and he turns into
Has
like
to wet his wig.
He has
yes.
wets his
It's
wig.
like good boy turns to bad boy and then meets the right girl and then turns back into good boy. That is like that's a very common arc for male main characters. And that's kind of the arc that Colin is going on right now.
Yeah.
And I don't like the front. I like the end of that. I don't like the parts where he goes to the bad boy part. I like.
So season 2 is Colin's reputation era.
But I really like the. Oh, you're the one for me.
Fingers.
I love it.
Colin's here.
Colin's in his reputation era.
And then he will be here. Yeah.
He'll be in his love era.
Did you know they were in order?
Yes. That's the whole point.
I did not.
Taylor Swift.
I was like, oh, Taylor Swift, Fearless. And I went,
Speak now.
and I dropped, I was like, oh, they're in order. And they both went. You're in the bathroom.
Like, as I'm painting them, I'm going in backwards order. I was like, yeah, this makes sense.
That's why she kept looking at her phone to make sure that they were in the right.
And I was sitting here worried if they were in the right order. Duh, they are.
The right colors and the right
Anyways.
What order would they be? We're not just going to put them on random fingers.
I trusted
Taylor
the internet.
Swift doesn't do anything randomly.
I trusted the internet.
Everything is
17.
Cryptic
yeah, you go.
I said the dude being sassy. It's both a joy and wonder indeed, because they were not promenading, but they went to that thing and
about marriage.
Feather whatever went up to her. Mother Feather. The Mother Feather went up to her. I think one of them. Someone went up to them and they were talking about like, oh, the joys of marriage. He was like, it's just a joy and a wonder indeed.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, ooh, sassy boy. Yeah. And then 18.
You go.
I put, oh my God, more practice. Oh, okay. So right after that, it goes back to Benedict. I'm getting it. And the artist, he wants to introduce Weatherby.
I don't know if I do know his
But he was like, "Let me. You want me to introduce you to Weatherby?" But Benedict got really nervous, and I was like, "Oh, it's a gay love story in the making."
A gay love story in the making. I hope that'd be cool.
I would love that.
I do like the gay themes. Like there's an undertone. There's an acknowledgement of like, hey, it's not just like straight folks in here.
Yeah.
It was very Shonda. Thank you.
Yeah, and he said something about not being like. Back in those days, not being able to stare, or like you have to, when you want to look at someone, you kind of make sure that no one else is watching. And I was like, this just sounds terrible. This sounds like being in the closet.
Yeah. I mean, you
2.0.
had to be in the closet back then.
You said that too about like the touches, like they like make it accidental, like to touch hands. It's like an accidental touch.
Yeah.
And he kind of explains how hard this is. Yeah. Well, plug again for Outlander because I will till I die. But Diana Gabaldon wrote a whole like series that goes along. It has like a lot of crossover. It's the same characters. But Lord John is a gay man in I guess it's like Civil War era in the U.S. But like they go overseas frequently. But he's a British. He's a lord and he's a gay man and he like it kind of gives an accurate depiction of his life and he has lots of different partners and then he like marries a woman to like hide it. I won't give away the plot, but I that's a great one too. If folks are like, what was this? This is kind of fun. This is interesting. Then that's a very in-depth, very long series.
Benedict got so nervous. He was like, tried to run away from it at the very end. He's like, oh, no, I'm good. Oh, someone's calling me, I think. Yeah. Somehow I love the mom. After that, I think the mom interrupts or talks to Daphne.
Violet.
25. Yeah, I keep forgetting her name.
Oh, yes.
I enjoy her.
This is not about Violet, but this is about Daphne.
Oh.
25 minutes. So Daphne is going to
Marina. Oh, yeah, the follow-up.
Yeah, Daphne goes to Marina to talk about her situation. And I love this because Daphne knows the kind of power she has as a Duchess. And she's like, well, I guess I can use this power to help people.
I love that.
She's like, I'm going to use my title and I'll get his attention.
Yeah.
And
that was a beautiful, like, women helping women.
Yes. Girls support girls.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Girls support girls. That was a beautiful example of like, hey, and you could tell like her heart was kind of softened in that room because she was the chaperone. She was angry that this was going down, but she was the chaperone who was able to like just we've got a mic situation, but she was able to beautifully kind of have her heart soften and then be like, let me use my power to support someone in distress. And it was really inspiring.
And Marina, back in Regency era stuff, women didn't hold a lot of power, and so Marina's like, can the Duke sign it too? And she's like, well, I
didn't even think of that.
She's like, well, I think it'll be fine just coming from me. And Daphne says, I'm quite capable of doing more than you think. And I wrote, that's Daphne and also every woman ever.
I'm actually quite capable of doing more than you think.
Yes.
Yeah.
But her follow-up with Miss Thompson was lovely.
That. It was really kind. After the scandal with Colin, she was just being so empathetic and being like, hey, like you're in a desperate situation. I don't hold anything against you for like quote tricking my brother. I just thought it was really sweet.
Well, and some of that empathy too, because she didn't know if she was pregnant or not. Daphne didn't. And just like, she wouldn't be raising the child alone, obviously, but it would be.
I mean, maybe it probably would have felt like it.
But she wouldn't, he wouldn't be around. And so I think the empathy was coming from there too, of just like, oh no, this woman is with child. Let's, oh God, this is a vulnerable position.
We have to protect her. Yeah.
Childbirth
She
is
could
super
fucking die.
risky. Yeah.
And then what happens to the baby? Like,
So that was a cool.
So you're at 32?
Supporting women.
I have 30 because 30 minutes, Lady Danbury's soiree for married ladies.
Yes.
That's
That's what I said. I want to go to a Lady Danbury party.
Yes.
They're drinking, they're gambling, they're talking their shit. That's where I belong.
Yep.
They were like, I mean, they went in depth. They were like, this is the beauty of it, because they're just so pure and protected all the way up till marriage. And then it's just like, oh no, we're all on the same page. We're all disillusioned.
Lady Danbury's just sitting in there smirking.
She's like, our side pieces are,
I love it.
I grinned the whole time.
I noticed on one of when they were playing cards, it just had the suits on it. I didn't notice numbers on it. So I was trying to figure out what the hell they were playing.
They're literally just betting on, it's like betting on the cards. It's like you put a token on the heart, and the dealer deals a heart, then that you win that card.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see numbers on it, and I was like, what are they?
That's a great.
That's easy enough.
You're literally betting on the card they're going to turn over. So you just pick one. It's like if they turn over, you win.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so up to
skill.
chance. Yeah. I always assume that poker is super hard and complicated, and like I couldn't do it while drinking, but like that's that.
I mean, can you add a 21? Because if you can, you can play blackjack.
Ooh,
if you can count
blackjack night.
If you can count to 21, you can play blackjack.
Yeah.
At one of the other things we do at Christmas time at my family is my grandfather will go to the bank and get us like $5 in quarters, and we play blackjack for quarters.
Oh,
love it.
It's really fun.
That is
for
fun.
quarters.
Yeah.
Cute.
That's fun.
Oh, I love it.
I skipped a lot, so what are you at?
36.
Perfect, take it.
The Duke versus the Viscount fight is hot. I'm sorry, it is.
Can you explain that word? I need a vocab lesson.
Viscount?
Oh, we put it in the group
Yes.
chat. We
So
put it in the group chat.
Whatever
Shit.
it is,
So
the
Viscount,
order, I
It's
guess.
an order. It's like
I can pull it up.
And I liked how
Will
like,
you
there can
re-yeet
be
it back in there?
There can be multiple lords per property, but there can only be one per castle.
It tells you what, per castle.
That's fascinating.
Viscount?
Yeah, it's
So it's VIS, but it's just.
Oh.
I mean, it's an ancient word.
So that's the head of the household?
so
He's like a. Here's the ranking.
yeah.
Yeah, so
read it to
starting
us.
at the top, king and queen,
Right.
one per kingdom. And then right under that, it's prince and princess, one per kingdom. Duke and duchess, one per castle. Marquis, one per castle. Count and countess, one per castle. Viscountess, one per castle.
So there's lots of castles.
Baron, baroness, two per castle. Lord and lady, two per castle. And knight, four per castle.
So if you're a knight, you don't really mean much.
You're at the very
Well, I
bottom.
mean, the
But you get
Beatles,
to be a
they were
sir.
knighted.
Yeah.
Like what?
You're down to the
Sir
bottom.
Elton John. He was.
And the person that
Like,
Marina...
that's just an honor.
Marina goes off with Sir Philip. He's a knight. He was knighted.
yeah.
I'm loving these crown pictures. I think those are cute. I
I
want
bet
one.
those are like you want a crown?
Yeah.
I bet those are different kinds.
I have a crown. I can bring it for you.
One of these?
What
No,
did
not
you
one
wear
of
a crown
those.
for?
I honestly don't know. I think actually, no, I do know. I got it in Disney World because we were and I saw the crowns in the window and I was like, can I have one of those?
I too bought a crown. I have two crowns. I bought one in Disney. That one of them is from Disney.
Was it mouse ear crowns?
No, it was just like a tiara.
It's literally I have two tiaras, and one of them is like a long,
Yes.
beautiful princess one from Disney.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god! I wore my tiara. We went to that Ren fair and the Renaissance fair. So I have a fairy crown, but that is all.
I love it.
Just from the Amazon, you know.
So then after the fight, the Duke goes home, and this was fucking smut. Daphne comes in there. She sits on his lap and tends to his wound. Excuse me.
Oh, I like that.
That's so
smut?
hot. That was smut.
He was bleeding.
At this point, was she trying to get him back?
She's speechless. Brayden.
Fiendin.
Can you
Fiendin.
imagine a hot man sitting on your lap and tending to your wound on your face?
Like nurturing
do you know how
you?
close your faces have to get together
Touching
to do
your
that?
face?
Yes.
While he's sitting.
He's like grimacing in pain.
No, it's hot.
It's
because
hot.
You're
No, it's
being
hot.
He's literally like,
tended
ugh. So he's flinching because he has a bony? Like, no, he's in pain. He's
What
bleeding.
if Alex and Henry? Is it Harry or Henry?
Henry.
We need to put everything into Red, Right, and Royal context. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for real.
Like, no, this is hot. Imagine if your favorite characters did this.
Imagine if Henry got hurt and he was bleeding from the forehead, and then Alex was like, well, baby, I'll take care of you. And then he cleans it up.
Yes.
Sits on his lap and just like
It's a trope.
The silence is loud.
It's like, but that would hurt. He
Yeah,
can't get
I'm
past
still
it.
thinking
Like,
of
it
the
hurts.
pain of it all.
Some people like pain.
Well,
Anyway,
Not all pain is bad, Brandon.
the fight was hot.
Moving right along.
so after that,
This is the smut club.
it was quickly not hot after that because they start arguing about why Simon lied to her and made this stupid vow to his dad that was like, I'm not going to sire any children.
Yeah.
And Simon says to Daphne, I swore to him on his deathbed. And then Daphne responds, and you betrayed me in our marriage bed.
So good.
Fuck him up, bitch. You tell him.
Shit, what was I doing? I didn't even make that note. What time are you at?
40:32.
Oh,
She's like,
I just
speaking of
skipped right
beds.
over this.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Clearly.
beds, you betrayed me in our marriage bed.
Yes.
So, like, which one is more binding? I don't know. One is a vow made. One is a death
One we
bed.
saw.
She
Sure.
reminds me
But
of that.
he's
Yeah,
dead.
she's like, you made 2 vows,
Yeah.
and one of them was to me. So
Yeah.
which one do you care about?
Seriously.
You swore to
basically what
honor
she's
and
saying.
protect me.
Yeah.
No,
And
She,
you did it.
yeah.
No, I remember.
Violet might not have taught her about sex, but she's got some.
She knows some stuff.
She's got gumption.
And yeah, beautiful. We love it.
I'm at 49 still. I skipped right over all this.
I'm at 49 too.
I put the quote of it takes courage to live outside the traditional expectations of society.
Period.
Who
I
said
wrote
that
that
again?
I also didn't write who said it. I just wrote it down.
Crap. Kaylee? God.
I'm
what's wrong
sorry,
with
Isaiah.
us?
Lady Danbury. I don't know.
Who said
It
that?
could have been Lady Danbury.
Yeah, that feels like her. But yeah, it does take courage. I think we live, in our tiny little
Who are they
SEC
Who are they
town.
saying it to? We can have context here.
Truly do not remember.
Shit.
I just wrote it down.
Well, the quote still stands. It's good, but it matters like that I feel like we are often on the outside of society.
Is it-
We're different marginalized
Benedict?
identities?
Because it takes courage to live outside the traditional expectations of society. Something with Benedict.
Oh yeah, maybe when he was talking to
Oh, maybe it's maybe he's talking to his friend, the art dealer guy.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's an artist too. He does their portrait. Yeah. Yeah, it does take I
Yeah.
mean, he was kind of Benedict maybe was like, "Oh, this is a lot." And he was like, "Yeah, it takes some guts to do
Yeah.
this."
Mm-hmm.
54.
52. Again, Eloise and Benedict's relationship is really sweet.
Yes.
And I love that. So they leave the ball early. Benedict and
pool.
Eloise, they get into the carriage, and then he was like, I think I'm gonna pick up my girl on the way home. And so
I
he
have a
just picks,
stop to make.
he
Oh,
picks up
yes,
Madame
I remember.
Delacroix from the modiste,
And
they're just-
Eloise is scandalized.
She's like, oh hey, what's up? But
You
I,
could
door
tell
opens
Madame
and she's
Delacroix
like
was like,
smirking
oh.
and she's like, and then she's like,
oh hey,
Your sister
because at that point Eloise
your
thinks-
sister's here.
is in here.
yes, and at that point Eloise thinks that Madame Delacroix is
Is
Lady
Lady
Whistledown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see her go,
Hello.
Oh, I get it. Because I made the note of only 3-hour concerts are allowed as Taylor Swift, period.
The
'Cause
only
they-
3-hour
That
yes.
was their exit point because she was like, 3 hours? No.
Bye.
And then them two both bail.
Oh well, yeah, it wasn't a ball. It was that concert. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Concerts aren't interesting enough to last for 3
Yeah, no. And then I put, also at 54, what's going... Oh. Okay, so this is where we're back to
Marina.
Marina, whatever.
this is-
yeah,
yeah,
Miss
this is rough.
Contraceptive.
We call it DIY abortion.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I
this
had
rough
no
They've
idea.
had to do it for generations.
Yeah.
Like,
I had no idea what was going on. I
Yeah.
was like, she's just mixing all these things together. I was like, oh, are we making soup? Like, so oblivious. I was like, this looks
Yeah.
fun.
She's trying to terminate her
And
pregnancy.
then
Yeah.
I had no idea. And then she goes back up the stairs, and then
she's like, it's taken care of.
then yellow dress found her. Penelope found her on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
does it knock you
Well,
out?
so here's the
It
thing.
made her sick.
Well,
Yeah.
think of it like if you're carrying a pregnancy that you need to terminate, and Marina, like objectively, this is
If Marina
a whole
only had the
commentary
Marina.
on abortion is healthcare.
Yeah.
Like she and like she needed it socially, like for many reasons, but abortion is healthcare. That's her body. She's carrying the fetus in her body. She needed to terminate the pregnancy. Like, it's so risky.
Yes.
That's why we need regulated, safe, accessible
Yes.
access
What
to
is that suit
healthcare.
made out of?
Probably some...
Just a bunch of herbs. I imagine
Yeah.
that it was
Some witchy shit.
Some kind of there were some kind of poisons in there too. Because
But it's going to poison her, too. Like, you can't just...
Yeah.
They're
this is
interconnected.
why
Yeah.
women need safe and healthy access to abortion.
Like,
because,
cute Dirty Dancing, too.
Yes,
Yes.
because then
Yes.
Yeah. Great example.
I don't remember.
Making abortion illegal does not stop abortions.
They're gonna.
It doesn't.
They've got to do it.
It makes it more dangerous, and then women die.
Yes.
Because they get desperate.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
Like of overturning. Like nobody cares.
And also, those clinics are literally
Who would
so
care
much
about
more
women's-
than just. They're not
healthcare.
abortion clinics. They are women's health care.
Yes. It does. Yes,
So
it does.
much more go on to that, but people just automatically assume the worst, and I'm like, okay, this is not what this is for.
Well, and it's. I think.
And I mean, and I understand that.
Yeah.
So donate to Planned Parenthood. It's very important that people in communities have access to.
Whether or not you would ever
Healthcare.
choose to, I think that's something that's helped. Like, I mean, I grew up very conservatively, and it's helped me and my partner kind of explore. And this is for anyone else who's in the situation of like, is abortion? What's my stance? My favorite like perspective is whether or not I would choose to have an abortion, because I have the privilege of like we're together, like we can pay our bills, like whether or not we would choose that. Others, like if they are put in that situation, would I want them to have access?
Exactly.
And yes, indeed, I would.
Yeah.
And so that's a helpful little.
That's the exact argument I make in
You're very
my
Catholic,
own
yeah.
Catholic family. Is if you say pro-choice, people are like, "I'm sorry." Like, I mean,
It's
that's
very
the one thing you know about
taboo.
Catholics is that Catholics are going to be pro-life.
Yeah.
And so you talk about pro-choice, and I'm like, I'm not telling you right now that I want every single person to have an abortion, but if it's what is
medically
necessary, then they
necessary.
have to be able to have that
Yes.
option. I cannot make that decision for
Yeah.
somebody else. And nor would I ever want to.
The more- now that you've had
that's
two children.
what choice means. Choice means they get to choose that. You don't. I'm not choosing that for them, and it is necessary.
We covered this extensively
Sometimes,
on the
so-
Silver Flames
Yes.
episode with Hope. Just like, hey,
She
this
worked
is,
at Planned Parenthood for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. For
Oh, I
all
really
people
want to. I want to dive. I want to unpack that with her.
Yeah.
out of town and here, and it's she's been like a director. Like she's like,
I bet she's had horror stories with them.
Oh, I imagine.
and it's really important. Like people, like you never know someone's
And-
story,
and what I
sometimes
hate-
the parent wants to keep the
Exactly.
child, but they can't.
What I hate is the narrative that people who are seeking out abortions are just like skipping over to do it. Like, let's talk about how difficult that is.
Yeah.
Like mentally, physically. I mean, like there are so many. You just don't ever know what's going on. So the
It's not
assumption
fun.
that women are just like, "Oops, I'm just going to go get a quickie abortion real quick.
Yeah,
this
just
is going to
waking
be
up and
super
I'm like, I
fun.
think I'll go get an abortion today.
I just really enjoy this. Like
Never
that's
a flippant
that is
choice.
just not what's happening.
Never flippant.
And I hate that. I hate the narrative that abortions we need to outlaw this.
We're just
because
handing them out like
women are
candy
just like,
at the
"Oh,
store."
you know what? That's what I think. I'm just going to do that. Today."
You know who's saying
You're
that
not going
is
full term
men.
and just like, you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait to carry this baby for 9 months and then just whoopsies, change my mind. Like, that's not what's happening. That is not what's happening.
No.
And so I have a very hard time hearing you when you say that you're pro-life, believing you, because it's just what part of life are we pro?
They're pro-birth.
What pro-life
It's
are we?
pro-forced
Yes.
And as someone who I have changed my stance on that over time as I've grown and gone through my journeys and everything, I think it's helpful for folks to hear kind of like what I don't know. I understand folks at different places, and it's important that maybe we critically think, and that we are open-hearted, and that we kind of hold space for other people's experiences, whether or not that's our experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And it is.
we
I
can
mean,
choose
just-
one thing for our lives and our bodies, but not limit others who need that
Right.
kind of help.
My body belongs to me. Why do other people get to decide what I'm doing over here?
Because I believe that for my body,
Yeah.
I believe that for other
yours
people's
as well.
bodies.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that goes also for gender affirming care and like all
Yes,
the
100%.
things that are just maybe
It
take
is.
care of our communities.
I got
Maybe
lost
just mind
feelings.
your
we can
business.
move on, but if I have a lot of feelings because it is. It's like if you're
It's
going to tell me
important.
that you're pro-life, I want to see you checking up on me after I've had this baby. After ask me how many people checked on me.
Yes,
after I
Savannah.
gave birth. I mean, it was every single freaking month. It was, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How's the baby? Like, how's it going while I'm pregnant? And then I gave birth, and it was crickets. It was absolute
And that's
crickets.
one
And
of
I
the
was losing my shit.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Yeah.
Postpartum with my first.
Postpartum
And
depression, anxiety.
it took my downstairs neighbor hearing me screaming and crying upstairs to be like, oh shit, something's going on. And that was when it clicked for me. I was like, I need fucking help. But everybody was just
Props
like,
to that
everyone
neighbor.
was just like, and she did, because she was a single mom. And so
Check
she
on
called
your
my husband.
neighbors.
She called my husband at work and was like, you have to come home. You have to come home right
that
now.
gives
And
me goosebumps.
he called me. I could cry talking about it. He
That's
called
so
me
good.
and he was like, look, I'm on my way home. Like, neighbor downstairs called me. I don't know what's going on, but like, you've got to
I'm
go
on
talk
my
to
way.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, we got to get you help. And so he came home and I thankfully I was able, my OB, one of her close friends was a psychiatrist, so she was able to get me in to a psychiatrist who does, specialize in postpartum care for women, which was wonderful, but people don't have access to that, and I hate that.
It is really stigmatized.
It's just,
I should be so happy. No,
and you
your
do.
hormones.
You say because people ask, they're like, "Is it not just the best?" And they'll tell you until they're blue in the face, just enjoy every minute. They're like, "Well, you just need to enjoy every minute of this because it goes so fast." And
that feels a little gaslighting.
I didn't enjoy a single damn minute of those first 4 months. I was not having a good time.
Hope talks about this a lot on the pod.
Yeah. She's like, it's not shiny.
No,
it's
I was
miserable.
not having a good time. My tailbone was broken. I was sitting on a donut. I bled for about 2 months. Yeah, it was not a good time.
Actually, not okay.
I was not having fun.
As the turntables.
I was sitting on a donut.
Yeah.
Take care of your neighbors,
So,
y'all. Take care of your communities.
Anyway, women deserve choice.
Vote to protect folks.
Yeah, women deserve to decide what happens to them.
Yeah, and we can. Yeah, that inspires me as your neighbor.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
she's
important.
the best.
What did Simon do at
Bridgerton,
the
they had
end?
lots of neighbors.
So
That segue back.
Maybe don't do
That was so obvious.
Aren't I good at
Usually you're good at getting back into it, but that one was not good.
for lunch.
So Daphne gets her period at the concert.
Yeah.
That
First of
was
all,
it.
okay, this is
That's not how. No.
Okay,
that made me so mad.
when you start your period, it doesn't just start gushing out of you like that. That was a
She looked at her, and it was like a tablespoon of blood.
yes. That's not how it is.
Yeah.
No.
But that got me wondering what do you do with your period in Regency? What did they do?
So they had the sanitary napkins.
They just line them up.
They just wrap it up.
So they had like belts, like they
Oh,
had
the belt. Yeah, I've seen those.
They had
Okay.
like belts and ways to secure the sanitary napkin.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yuck.
So basically a
What a
pad.
mess.
that's the only
Yeah.
one I know of. Yeah,
So she gets her period. She starts crying.
and then
She's
Violet
upset.
comes in.
Yes, and then the camera pans back to Simon, and then you could see just the tears in his eyes as he's listening to his wife cry
Yeah.
about not being pregnant.
Yeah.
yeah, it was horrible.
But in their,
That was rough.
in their
and the
perspective
music
for,
going. Yeah.
The empathy
That's rough.
building.
Yeah.
That was very empathy building
Yes.
for him too. Of like, hey, my dude.
This might not
Yeah.
be cool.
My dude.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here.
This is a
Yeah.
human
But
being.
they
Should
and
probably
you're
think about this.
they had been
breaking her
fighting.
heart.
You're good. They had been fighting and all this. Because when I first watched it, I was like, does this actually mean he wants one? Or where I was still confused on just
Well, and I mean that could have been part of what was going through his
his
mind.
emotions.
I think it's probably a lot of different things, but it's also I have basically wrecked the relationship with the woman that I love.
Yeah.
Because he did love her.
Yes, he did.
That was clear all along.
And he's the whole time he was like,
I
I'm stealing her
understand.
future. He felt
Yeah.
that way the whole time. And then I think he was kind of confronted with that when he's listening to her sob with her mom as
Yeah.
she's actively bleeding in the back room at the
Yeah.
concert. So
yeah.
that's the wrap.
That's rough.
Episode
Yeah.
7's a hard one. It's
Yeah,
long
that's
and
we did it.
long and arduous. Not a lot of levity
Yeah.
in episode 7, but it
Episode.
does make you want to see episode 8. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
All right.
The first note that I have for episode 8, just to start us off strong with an ouch, is Violet rolling over and touching the pillow.
oh god, that was so sad.
Well, Julie
yeah.
Andrews
Yes.
as Lady Whistledown is explaining, that was beautiful. Talking about love.
I keep forgetting that.
And I know, isn't that wild? But it was really
Yeah.
beautiful to see, oh, yeah.
Violet talks about it later too. She actually addresses that. She says something about love and being married to your best friend and stuff like that. And she
Yeah.
talks about still rolling over in the morning and touching his pillow. And I was like, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry
Right
right
for the
here.
rest of my life.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard watch.
It's worth it though.
Yeah.
Love is worth
Yes.
the risk of losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many people have said it really beautifully. Just that.
You've got paragraphs in this, Kaylee.
Yes,
My
I do.
God.
Some thoughts and feelings.
we're gonna get rolling.
To say.
I started at 3.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh God! As it just
Just
scrolled,
accidentally scrolled all the way to the top.
I put 331. Well, the sense of touch is really holding this marriage together. Something happened
when they're
where
getting the painting done.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said, imagine having to sit for a photo to be painted.
Oh,
You could
that
just
was it. Yeah, it turned out great. By the
yes.
way,
It did look
Oh,
really
it did.
good.
It looked
Good.
wonderful, but it probably took. They probably sitting there for so long.
And then it got rained
Got
on.
rained on.
Yeah,
I
what
was
if it
like,
messed
they
it
can
up?
afford another
Yeah, it's
one.
fine.
Yeah.
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 5 minutes and 40 seconds. So Marina is living her delusional life, and she's like, I'm not pregnant anymore.
I would have felt something by now.
I was like, that's not how leaves work. Just put
That's
some
not
leaves
how
and some
leaves
tea
work.
and That's not how it works.
Well, I mean, think how old she is, like 16 or
Oh,
17.
yeah. But it's, that's relatable, I think. It's like, because I said so, I'm not pregnant anymore.
Because I said so, I'm fine. We call that denial.
Yes. The Featheringtons are kind of shunned right now because of the scandal. And then Lady Featherington comes to Lady Bridgerton and is like fishing for an invite to her ball. That was so embarrassing to watch. I was like, just go.
Cringe.
Just leave.
And then, like, Lady Bridgerton's like, no, you can't come. And then Daphne, of course, is like so nice. And she's like, we can forgive people, Mama. And like, invites her. I was kind of on Violet's side.
I know. I was like, no, don't come.
You don't have to be there.
That was some Mama Bear energy, too, because she's like,
I was kind of on Violet's
Marina
side.
was screwing over my son.
Yeah.
Like, that is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole, like, disgraced by association thing of, like, oh, no, we can't possibly speak to them. We can't be seen in the same room with them because one of them got pregnant. It's just...
So silly.
So silly.
I know. That's very much how some cultures work.
Are you at 8?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because this is where we find out that George has passed on the battlefield because the brother shows up.
Sir Philip.
Yes.
Sir Philip.
He's such a good man.
He is a good man.
And Marina was so resistant to going with him, but if I were her, I'd be like, okay.
Sure. Well, I thought the same thing. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
She's like, that's not the man I love. I'm like, well, baby, like, we'd have so few options here, and he's nice.
Yeah, you'll follow that. It's all right.
Well,
Honey,
she
no.
came around.
Yeah.
Yes,
she did.
Well, yeah, she was just like, no, I'm free. I see her train of thought. It's like, no, I solved this. I'm free. Now I'm marryable. But like now everybody knows she's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruined,
In
yeah.
quotations, like, you know,
Is she in season 2? Marina, whatever her name is.
She go.
Taylor Swift side note, I'll never forget whenever we heard 15 and Abby was there at the Nashville night too. And it says, she said, what's the line?
Abigail gave everything she had for a boy who changed his mind.
And we both cried.
And she said,
and it's all right.
and it's all right.
Yeah.
Like she added it in
Yeah.
the song.
But
of
it's
just
all
like,
right.
it's
Yeah.
like, it's all right.
right.
Like,
We're all right.
because the way it
We're
was
all right.
raised was kind of like a very purity culture, like, oh,
Yeah.
never give everything you have because they'll leave, you know, it's
People
giving
use
away their
it.
flower.
People
Diana,
used
damn.
that line to
Yeah.
explain, like, this is why you don't do this. Because
Yeah.
they both cried. They were upset about this. And so Taylor knew that. She's on the internet. She knows. And
think
people are
that's why
saying that. Yeah, so
Taylor-
she's like, by the way, it's fine.
It's fine.
Like, it's
We're all
actually
fine.
It's all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and all too well, it's
She knows.
it's
She's
also
out
like,
of it.
hey, I gave you my scarf.
Yeah.
And
Gave
it's
you my
scarf. Scarf at your sister's
I'm a
mojo
crumpled
dojo
up piece
pizza
of
house.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I like that Taylor is reclaiming that. Like she's not doing the purity culture narrative. She's like, actually, no, this is not. You're not ruined.
Yeah.
No.
This is not
Actually,
Regency era
I wrote a
England.
song called Dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
we
that
got
was sweet.
we got dressed in the Joe Alwyn era.
I know.
Can you think about what we're gonna get now?
Travis Kelsey era.
We got false god.
In the
During
Joe
Joe-
It's true.
Write me a song.
Smut.
Write me a song about being chucked across the room.
Yeah.
Blondie's getting railed.
Yeah.
He's getting royal.
Finally. I mean,
I hope so.
literally.
Jay has said this many times. He's just like to himself. He's like, "Oh my god, imagine sex." And with
I
that,
do.
I'm like, "Yeah,
I do
We
that.
all
She's
have,
tall.
actually.
He's
I do.
tall.
He's like, this is
it's probably good.
It's probably great.
He's like, I hope she's having a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she is.
Oh,
actually.
I imagine she
I
is.
imagine that this
The
is
TikTok of her like pulling him into the. She's like, you get on
Thank
here.
you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
I loved
yes.
It's funny
She grabs
that
him by the
Those
shirt.
drawn. Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. She's like, I'm just going to shut those.
it's funny the people that know
I
that like
love
I'm a
it.
really big Swiftie and they'll be like, so do you think it's real? Like that's still a topic of conversation I get asked
say
at.
that?
Yeah.
Once a week they still think it's publicity. Yeah.
You know who doesn't need PR?
Taylor Swift.
Or
And Travis Kelsey.
a Super Bowl champion surely does not need publicity.
Well, I saw someone post that, and then they were like, "But you know what? My favorite trope is fake dating.
Yeah,
like
right.
if they are fake dating, they're gonna fall in love. We know this trope.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
you know,
It's going to work out no matter what it is.
yeah.
Even if it's
I'm
that,
sorry,
it's just
but
to
it's
have
not.
a really
Do you
good
have
time. Yeah.
lipstick in your mustache if it's fake?
Fake?
What's happening?
What's that about? Is that smeared?
Because
Yeah.
that wasn't in front of us.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
was
see that.
for publicity.
That came out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got the zoomed in version of that and her lipstick smeared, I was like, Give me a song about it.
I think it's very clear by this point. I need a song about the details of making out with him.
I want a 5-minute song about that.
Just the smeared lipstick.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, we would appreciate it.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Sorry, shot.
Anytime we want to speed up, we slow down so dramatically.
It's going to be all right.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all, 11 minutes.
Y'all.
Benedict is quickly becoming the hottest brother. He is in the modiste's shop. He comes down the stairs with his shirt unbuttoned, and I wrote hello.
And Eloise, he's like, and then he says, "Lock the door."
Lock the door. I wrote, "Sir."
Sir.
And he just grins mischievously.
Yes.
He's like, "Lock the door." My sister just came in here.
So hot.
Yeah. Lock the door.
I said, "Oh my God, not the deed to the house! Someone stop him!"
Oh
Because
God.
I was trying to get the deed to the house.
Lord
away, and it's
Featherington's
gamble.
such a fucking idiot.
He's such an
Which season 2, Lord Featherington is still really confusing me on their whole
He's
situation.
gone.
He did.
No, like the other
the
one that
new
comes
guy?
in. Yeah.
Oh, the
like,
new
Yes,
one.
because
That one's
women weren't
gone.
allowed to own property, so
Yeah.
the property goes to the next male Featherington.
Yeah.
Fuck the feathers. Like it's
Yes.
and their whole
Yes.
situation. And I was like, wait, are they automatically married now? I could not figure out.
No,
what
they're
was-
not married.
That's the entire plot of not the entire plot, but that's Pride and Prejudice too. It's just this idea that like, oh shit, I have all girls, and who's gonna take care of me in my old age? I'm gonna lose all. Like the pressure was on.
That's silly.
Yeah,
He's very
silly is a good word
Very,
for it.
it is very silly.
I agree. Women weren't allowed to open a line of
Silly
credit
goofy.
until
Silly is the word
1977
we
in the
use in my
U.S.
house to say that's fucking stupid. That's
Silly.
the toddler
So
version of
silly.
that's fucking stupid.
Last night's game was
Yes,
so
everything is
silly.
Silly.
It was so silly.
No, we don't have to bring last night's game into this. I was having a good time.
18.
Sure.
I put, wow, Philip, that's honorable. Why did I think this was a good idea? Wait, she's without a child now. Okay, so
She's not.
You were confused about.
I was so
pregnancy.
confused on Marina. Whatever she was.
Marina, who did not have access to a
Philip is an honorable man, but yeah, she's still pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she didn't think so, and that's why she was like, no, I'm not going to be with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now this tying
She
back in the
feels
soup.
something. I
She's
think
like,
like later
I
in the
am
episode, she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
She's like,
there
oh,
it is."
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep.
Also, she would have, anyway, she doesn't understand. You would have
Yeah.
passed.
Things would have happened. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm at 27.
Okay. So Lady Danbury, like always the MVP of this show. I love her so much.
I love her.
MVP.
And I have
So-
so much respect for her after Queen Charlotte. I'm like, oh my God, okay, she's, wow. She's tough.
So Daphne is learning of Simon's speech impediment, so she's like reading the old
Yeah.
letters,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and Lady Danbury
Finally.
comes in, and she's like, "You were the reason that he was successful." And Lady Danbury says, "I merely showed him what he was capable of all along. That the Duke's triumph was his and his alone."
Yeah,
Yes.
she gave that credit to him.
Yes.
She like
Love.
repeated it. She was like, "No, to be clear, like this
To be
he
clear.
had the courage
Yeah.
to work through this."
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, I had several friends who are speech and language pathologists and audiologists. I was an audiology major for a couple semesters. Like, I'm very into that. And when I taught special ed, I worked closely with folks. Speech impediments of all kinds, they're so common, y'all.
Yeah,
It
so
is
common.
Yeah,
not
so
a
common.
sign of any intellectual anything. Like, this is, I don't know. It's, yeah, but there's some inclusivity with disability.
Yeah.
So we have sexuality inclusivity, we have different ability levels. Like, so anyway, I appreciated that they,
Yeah.
but I am curious, how did he work through his speech impediment?
I bet she got him a private tutor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the research that like it's a medical field.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that goes into
We
it.
can have. I mean,
He's gotten
my oldest just has a pronunciation issue,
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, the amount of appointments that we've had just for that. I mean, literally just for the pronunciation of
Because-
it. It's not even it's not a stutter necessarily. I mean, and he's young still, so
Oh, yeah.
who knows? But it is. It's just pronunciation, but it could be linked to all kinds of things. It could be partially to do with his ears. It could be something to do with his hearing. Like it could be
wild.
anything. And so we're
Right.
just going to ENT after ENT, possibly
there's the
going to
language
speech therapy,
centers.
like all kinds of things.
Yeah, there's the mechanics of it. There's the hearing. It's a multi-level
Yeah.
situation. So I think it's
Multi-level.
fascinating, but it is just I'm always impressed by people who are able to work through it, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
27.
You go.
I put breakfast was awkward. I really want this to work out. Because I think they were sitting far away together again.
So this
Oh,
is when
yes.
I like this shift because Daphne's
She showed up
like,
where he
This
eats breakfast.
shit.
Yeah.
Daphne's like, actually,
Oh,
I
she
think
made the
that-
breakfast
She
first.
said she wanted a change of scenery.
She
or
usually
something,
ate
yeah.
it in the morning room.
Yeah.
But she moved
I
to
want a
where.
morning room.
Well, they have a castle.
Yeah.
And so she moved to where Simon eats breakfast, and
He walks in and was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
why are you here?
and she's like, hey, your dad fucking sucked.
She knows more about his story now, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh.
And now she's gonna give
but
him a
this
chance.
wasn't your fault, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
29:38.
Me too. Oh my god, 29:36. Cute. If we ever can align on the time,
Yes.
Yeah.
that'd be cute. We'll get that tattooed.
Drop everything now.
Yes.
I forgot Colin was a singer.
Yes.
Just singing that. And then the cash.
It's cute.
And then Penelope
Oh.
walks in, and then his voice breaks a little bit, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That was so sweet. So why are we like furious at Conrad for singing, but when
I
Colin
wrote-
sings, we're like, please do it
So-
more. That's adorable.
The little break in his voice when he sees Penelope, Conrad would fucking never. He just has this little
Conrad
guitar.
fucking
He's like,
never.
"I feel sad. I'm never gonna tell Belly how I feel."
Also, it was that like the children were just skipping about.
Yes.
It's like it was the atmosphere. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
He's just having fun.
Tender.
He's having fun with his siblings
Yeah.
right now. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing, and so that was sweet. But
Yeah.
Conrad just.
I like Happy Anthony.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, I love how the Bridgerton vibe, and then also I never put this together. How big this family
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this mom still walking?
all the way to H.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Hyacinth.
imagine
Yeah.
having that many kids back in that scene.
Yeah.
All that.
I think Hyacinth, she almost died. Well, because
Yeah.
if
She
you
almost
think
died
about
from
how
Hyacinth.
old, like, you get, like, it becomes more and more risky, too. But A, B, C, D, E, F,
G-H.
G,
G.
H. 8 children.
But she
And
and
violent.
the Lord were like one of the first love matches
Jesus?
in
Yes, the Lord Jesus.
the Lord Jesus, Lord Bridgerton, the Lord Jesus. So they were fucking
I mean,
a lot.
I would pray through
It does
too
sound
with
like
8
the
kids.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd pray too. God.
I don't know his name. I wish I did. Lord Bridgerton. But they were in love, so they were fucking a lot.
Yeah.
And there's no
Clearly they did do the
contraceptives.
pull-out method.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
No, none of that was happening.
No.
They were doing the put-in method.
Just hold it in
Very much
method.
keeping it in there. Hold it in.
the keep it in method. Living
What is
for
it
the
like?
The come inside method.
When Phoebe in Friends like lays upside down to
Yes,
like
to
get
keep
the
that-
She's like, I'm just gonna
to keep this.
let gravity do its thing.
Yeah.
Ew.
I go all the way to 42.
I went all the way to 46.
I
Okay.
made a tiny note just
Go ahead.
to mention it about how cute it is with Simon playing with the little children.
yes.
And
It's
there's
really
smiles, and he's
cute.
sitting on the couch just like talking to both on
Having
either side of him, and they're both
fun.
talking to him, and he's smiling so big. That's the
Yes.
first time you didn't see him smile like
And
that.
Daphne looked
When
at
he's-
him was like,
and she's like,
yeah.
Like, actually, you're
Yeah.
great with kids.
Yeah.
yeah. He does say that later. She's like, you did so well. They
Yeah.
love you so much. And he was like, kids have always loved me, but that doesn't mean I want them.
Yeah.
It's basically what he says. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
Yeah. Did they go to a ball?
it is hot though. God, I loved that when S and I were dating. And anytime he would be around some of my younger siblings, or not my siblings, my cousins, and they would play so well together, I was like,
There's something pretty
yes, there's something so hot about that.
It is tender.
You're
It's sweet.
biologically drawn to
Yes,
that.
yes, it's almost as if that's
you could
biology.
parent.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, they go to the
Ball.
The Duke and Duchess host a ball.
And I was like, bad things are going to happen at this ball. I'm nervous.
Not really.
Yeah, I thought there was.
it was such a beautiful
Yes.
ball. Yeah.
So at 42 minutes, Penelope, she's like trying to work up the courage to like tell Colin that she loves him. And he beats her to the punch, and he's like, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go to Greece actually. And she's like,
Talk about a slow burn.
have fun, I guess.
Yeah, and she was like, you should just say it. Like if you feel this way, you
I
just need to
agree.
shout it.
Yes.
Shout it. He was like, yeah, I'm going to Greece, and she's like, oh my
what are you
God.
gonna say?
Wow, and she's
Yeah.
like, I've forgotten.
I forgot. Have fun.
Yeah. The
See ya.
slowest burn of it all
God.
is this. It stretched across 3
Yeah.
seasons, apparently.
It does. Yeah.
That
What a
hurts.
slow burn.
We love a slow burn.
This convo with Anthony and the singer, that was the whole he goes to the house. She's there with
flowers,
someone,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The guy with the gray
I
hair.
read that
Very
correctly?
tall, very gray.
He was a
hair.
good looking man.
Yeah. And
Lots of money.
Anthony's much cuter, though. Yeah. I mean, that man was cute, but Anthony is. In
Well,
season 2,
It's better.
Yes. That
that sideburns lose. And the fact that I know he's homo in real life now, I'm just loving every minute
Yeah.
of it.
That's right.
He does not wish for me to change. You need to let me go.
Yes.
Yeah, Sienna, that was a fascinating storyline because Sienna was just like, I'm actually okay with this the way it is, like, and he wants me this way. So
I love her character because the whole time we think, oh, she just wants to be with Anthony however she can. But
that
then
desperate woman. No, she's...
But then it's a bait and switch, and she's like, the man upstairs sees me for who I am. Like, he doesn't want me to change. He doesn't want me to put on a gown and go to a ridiculous ball. He does not want me to change. So she's not in the same social class as Anthony, and she's fine.
Yeah, exactly. He does not want for this to be something that it's not.
Yes.
Like, I think the will they, won't they, she was caught up in it for a minute. She was like, okay, I'll be with you. But then that was too much.
I think she decided, I don't want to be a kept woman, actually. I want to be who I am.
I just want to be.
I like this conclusion to her story.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to be able to exist and be seen out in public with the man that I love. So it's not going to work for us.
Yeah.
I liked the ending for her because we watch her go from like
we do. She has a real
Anthony, and then she's devastated, and then it's just hard because she leaves because she's heartbroken, and then comes back, and we're like, oh, girl, and then at the end she's like, no, this is what I want.
I think I'm better than that. Well, no, that she's better
more than this.
Like sometimes it
absolutely.
takes a minute. Sometimes we have to experience it and be like, sometimes we have to date Joe Alwyn for 6 years.
That's right.
Give or take. And say, I mean, after watching the Air Story now so many times, we're like, she was telling us all along that Joe was
That's
not.
what we talked the whole first time.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
she was
like,
like, so
hello.
back
This was
even
about-
here, she started talking about
in
this.
2020.
Yeah.
But like sometimes we need that to be able to say, I think I deserve better. Actually, that hurt.
That wasn't great.
Sometimes we need to fall in love with the
That
wrong
wasn't great.
person and then work through it and then move on.
And then, so I jumped to 51 minutes. This is at the ball, and Daphne is talking to Mama Bridgerton. And I feel like Violet's a great character because she's got some flaws, which I love in a character.
Yes.
But I feel like she does say the right thing a lot.
She cares.
So she talks about her relationship with Lord Bridgerton, and she's like, it wasn't easy. It was not easy.
We were in love, but don't misunderstand love.
Yes.
Don't misunderstand.
And she talks about choosing, they chose each other every day. And so I just said, like, falling in love is pretty easy. Like, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
But, like, choosing to love the same person every single day.
Oh, that was so good.
Yes, that is what makes a relationship last. You choose each other.
Yeah.
It's a
Like,
choice.
of all the other options in the world, you're choosing this person.
Yes. Well, and I mean, through all of your life, like, you're going to have conflict.
Yes, it's not easy.
Discussing how can we move through conflict together, because it is inevitable that we are going to have conflict, and maybe there will be a conflict where we don't ever land on the same thing, and we have to figure out a way to also move through that and continue to it's hard.
It's a choice.
It's so hard.
I think personal anecdote, but whenever Jay and I finally shifted, because we were very conservative when we first got together, and then when we started shifting into, hey, divorce is actually, like, we could not be together. This is this is an option on the table now. It changed our relationships for the better, and through lots of therapy, and we both had to work through a lot of things because we all bring our own stuff into relationships. But this, like, hey, no, we're choosing this. We're choosing this today. We're choosing to love. We're choosing to be together. We're choosing to build a life together and to respect one another and to grow and to talk through stuff and prioritize one another's needs and take care of our own wellness so that we can show up well. And so whenever it started shifting into, no, we're choosing this, instead of like, no, we made a vow and we're stuck
have
together.
to do this.
Yeah. When it shifted into a choice, that's when, like, we actually started being family. So I just, that really spoke to me when she was like, no, to be clear, honey, this is a choice.
We had your, and I mean, I
And your
appreciate
work
where
being
she says
chosen.
that too. She's like, you saw your dad, like, you have always said, I want a love match. I want to have your relationship, and I'm here to let you know that our relationship wasn't perfect.
Well, honey, this
we
is
had
love.
conflict. We did this. We chose each other.
Yeah, we
And
had a
then
love
Daphne's
match,
like,
and it wasn't
oh,
perfect.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so real.
Oh my god, I figured it out. Also, this is off subject. Also, why the Bumblebee references in now season 2. Is the dad allergic? Is that how he
Bumblebee,
passes?
that is how he died.
Yes, I told you. That's foreplay shadowing. We're foreplay shadowing that.
Shit, I just got it
Yes.
because I had to turn off the episode because it was going to episode 3, and I fucking hate bees. And then he was trying to pick a flower.
To the window, so yeah.
Oh,
at
no.
the end of episode 8.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
I'm
shows,
still on.
it shows bees like every now and then throughout.
Because he was like, there's a bee on the flower, and he was picking them, and I was like, oh god, I hate bees.
Yeah.
And then, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I saw the bee emoji and it clicked.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 53 minutes.
Whoa!
What? We were just at 51.
Oh, you're right. You're so right.
Yeah.
Whoa! Just gonna skip right over it. Yep. Yep, sure am.
At 53 minutes, the rain came pouring. Yes.
it was gorgeous.
When I was drowning, that's when I could finally breathe. It's like, obviously, this is a huge metaphor.
Yeah.
Rain is always a metaphor in books and in TV shows. Any kind of media, when you see rain, there's some kind of metaphor happening there.
Yeah. I put the quote before it. I put, pride will cost you everything and leave you nothing. So is the Duke thinking too much like his father?
Oh.
Pride will cost you everything and leave you with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's like, this it'll cost you everything. Do you understand what you're losing because of your pride?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I put Dancing in the Rain. What a release. I love all of you.
beautiful.
It was Fearless. I said it because we've talked a lot about screaming and fighting and kissing the rain, and I was like, this reminds me of Headfirst Fearless.
Yes.
This is what this
And
reminds me of. Yes, in my best dress,
In my
Fearless.
best dress
Yes,
with my oil painting.
Yes.
My favorite part of
love.
that scene,
I know.
I loved Lady Danbury and Violet doing it Protect.
Yes, they're like, get the fuck out of here.
That was my, because they knew.
yes.
Little finger. Because Lady Danbury and
Speak
Violet
now.
knew that they were actually having trouble in their
Yeah.
relationship. And so,
She does her locating. She's like, I think we're actually gonna call it now. She was like, I think the ball's gonna be over now.
We're done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone go home.
My ADD's kicking in.
yes. Start tapping my face.
And then, so Daphne and Simon kind of have a come to Jesus in the rain. And Daphne says to Simon, just because something is not perfect does not make it any less worthy of love.
Ooh.
And he was like, she said, you were made to believe that because you had a flaw that you are not worthy of love. And I'm here to tell you that's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah, it was like, it never really made sense. She's like, this is crazy, this like not having kids because, and then she's like, oh, I see, like this, he was deeply hurt. Like this makes sense to him to draw this boundary of like, no, I'm not having children.
Yeah.
And like that, when you let people in close, they can see your broken places and they can speak to that and they can say, hey, I want to be evidence to the contrary. Like, that wasn't true, honey.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Like, you actually are lovable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're imperfect. Like, that's
Yeah.
Well, because you are imperfect.
Yeah.
flaws. Like, that's,
Yeah.
that's actually love.
Yeah. We
It's
love
actually
that.
love. And then we go to, because 58, I put, wait till the debating dude realized that he rigged the match and forced him to give up his life.
Yep.
Yep.
So I finally figured that out to pay the debt. So
He-
check
he
that
gone.
out.
He gone.
And then I'm at 106.02. Now we're in triple digit
You
times.
you-
Over an hour.
You skipped over the sex scene, you jerk. At 1 hour and
shocked.
28 seconds. This is a smut podcast.
This is a smut pod.
I'm so sorry.
So-
I'm living for the dick of it
Porn
all.
on the pod.
Porn on the pod.
They make sustained eye contact across the room.
Yes.
Sienna and Anthony, and they are kind of sexting with their eyeballs, and they're like,
That is sexting with your
meet me
eyeballs.
under the bleachers.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. That was episode 7.
Oh my god!
The standing up.
Oh,
It was
Anthony and
the position was weird
timeline.
to me because Anthony's back was to the wall and he was just like holding her. I was like, oh,
Well, and where
Uh-oh.
she was, I was like, wait.
wait a second.
I don't know if that lines up quite the
Ergonomically.
way it's supposed to, but
We believe you.
we understand.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
the
Sorry.
Sarah.
What
So-
sex scene are we talking?
This is Daphne and Simon.
The
This is
sweet,
after they.
yes.
This is
Oh,
a romantic.
Yeah.
Though I will say one thing about Daphne and Simon. A lot of times they just go straight to penetration, and it's just like
So that's not actually.
Yeah.
that's not
You're just ready? We're just going to do
We're
that.
just gonna go. We're just gonna go for it.
Okay, great.
So she starts out on top, and then
Is
he
that
flips.
not how it works with heteros?
Nope. Well,
No.
not the good sex.
Commonly depicted,
kind.
but that actually doesn't.
There-
That foreplay is very important.
Female
for women.
bodies
There
take
are
some
only
warm up
very
time.
specific times that can happen.
Only
and
in
that's when
ovulation
you have an
week.
extremely limited amount of time.
Yes.
Oh.
We have 2 minutes to get this done, so we gotta get moving. That can happen in during ovulation week because everybody's ready to go at all times.
Yes. Yeah.
During ovulation
Ew.
week.
You're
yes.
already ready. Yeah. No.
But then you really need to wrap it before you tap it.
Yes.
In ovulation
This is
week.
not the
Yes,
advice podcast.
because then you will end up with 2 children.
Good word.
So Daphne starts out on top, and then like Simon flips them over, and this is the first time he doesn't like yeet himself across the bed.
And he's just looking at her.
He-
He's just looking right at her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tender.
I didn't love watching.
The
that.
eye contact.
It was a lot.
Is, I'm a very
I
like.
don't want to make eye contact.
No, I'll be closing my eyes.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
I
that. Yeah.
Wait, y'all don't want to make eye contact during sex?
Honestly, I'd rather be turned around.
It is. Yeah. That's exactly correct,
Romance.
actually.
Friends, this is romance.
I'd rather be turned around.
That's for a lot of
She
reasons.
said. Yep, she said nothing wrong. That's exactly correct.
For a lot of reasons. The reason being the G spot. But
Yeah, and I don't.
I thought the whole point of intercourse
also, I
is
don't
being
know.
together. Why don't you want to be looked at?
Well,
I like this. I like to switch it up. The
after
position.
many
Yeah, you do.
years,
But-
like,
Clearly.
That's like the last official sex scene. of the series. It's a sweet one, but it is just like
Of the series?
Yeah.
Of this season. Sorry, not the series.
Season 2 doesn't have no blinking.
Season 2 has some.
I think that there's definitely a time. Like, I'm not going to say that I don't like the romantic sex sometimes, but there's definitely a time for it. And I like the.
What's the other opposite? Just get it done and be done with it?
No, I like
fucking.
Yeah.
It's fucking correct.
I like the desperation of it.
Yes.
I like
Sex and fucking.
Desperation.
where it's like you've built it up so much that it's like, okay, we have to do this
You don't
now.
have a female body, so you like the
Hard and fast.
the soft like slow. It doesn't feel as good.
The hot dog with the bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
It just lays on
like.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's nice, like, to communicate emotion, and it's lovely in that sense. But, like, when you're with a long-term partner, it's like, all right,
Can we just do that for
The
like 1 minute
romance.
at first, and then let's move on?
Yeah, let's make this.
I don't know. We'd have to do this the whole.
When S wears the black shirt.
Oh, the black t-shirt.
The black V-neck
Signaling.
shirt with the turned around hat. Yeah.
No, a turnaround hat.
The
yes.
backwards hat and the V-neck
Yes.
t-shirt with
Yeah.
the 5-inch inseam shorts. He knows exactly what he's doing when he wears that.
He
Yeah.
knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then at 106, we get the reveal of Lady Whistledown.
That was
Whistle
so
whatever.
good.
Such a good shot of
Yes.
her in the car, and then she
Whistle
lifts her
whatever.
head, and it's Penelope's face.
And she's like grinning. She's like, she knows what
it's
she's doing.
so good.
Yes.
So it's really fun to be like in season 2, knowing who Lady Whistledown is. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a good way of doing that.
That-
better than Gossip Girl.
I got so excited. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I can't wait for season 2.
I put ending with us finding out the real Whistledown and a baby boy, beginning with the letter
Yes.
A.
Yes.
So I thought that was going to prelude to like more than just one.
That was cute.
Yeah, I
The
think
letter
the
was
plan is
A.
for them to have more.
And then also the Bumblebee reference.
Yes.
I said that birth scenes can always be hit or miss for me. Like actual birth scenes, it just kind of. I've seen it and I'm like, that's not what it actually looks like. But also sometimes it can be a lot to watch.
Yeah.
But this one made me feel a little emotional.
Yeah.
This one I was watching.
Really
This one was
sweet.
sweet.
Really
sweet.
With her mama in the room.
And it felt
it was just
authentic.
me and my partner in the room. One, because of COVID with my first one, but also a choice with my second. It was nice for it to just be us together. But it was sweet that her mom was there. And
Stan.
when the baby boy comes out and she's like, do you wish to hold him? And he just like the way that he just grabs it. It's like
He slowly puts
I
it-
wanted to just. I started to cry because it reminded me of our first boy and just the way that like he was just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You've been carrying the
Yes.
baby for 9 months.
Yes,
And
I
then
was
this
also
is the
laying on my
first
back,
he
and it
gets
was
to
just
hold.
like laying on my chest, and so I mean, he was the first one to hold the baby like this, yeah, and it was just like they're so careful with
Yeah.
the baby, and
This
it's like such
tender.
a delicate, yeah, because it is. It's like a realization of like,
Oh, it's
I
here.
made
This is
that.
my son.
Like part of this is me, and it is because it's like it's a very
beautiful.
sweet moment together when the baby does come out and goes on. And this does not happen for everyone. Sometimes there are emergency situations where it doesn't go straight on your chest, but for me, thankfully, it did. And so the baby went straight, and it was like a moment for us where we were like,
We did this.
This baby is us two together, and that's it. There's no one
made
else in
this
here. Like that's us
baby.
together. This baby wouldn't exist if it weren't for you and me together. And it's a really sweet.
That's really
Oh.
sweet.
moment, yeah,
Love.
to just be like, this is us. This is the two of us combined into one little
Magic.
person.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Magic.
and
And
it's sweet.
Love makes a family.
Yes.
Families
Yes.
come in all shapes and sizes. And I
Absolutely.
love that was your experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was very sweet. It was very sweet.
I love that the Duke was like, we should name him with something that starts with an A because we have family traditions, do we not? And that's a
He
Bridgerton.
has a new family.
Yes.
That's a Bridgerton tradition.
Yeah.
So that's so matriarchal of him to be like,
Yeah.
this is
He
your-
looks at Violet
Yeah.
and says it, and she's like, we do.
We do actually.
And it was so beautiful. Like
Love.
the chosen family idea of like his family was really broken and hurt.
Yeah.
And but this is his family now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does. It ties to what we were talking
He's a
about earlier.
Bridgerton now.
There were parents that had no business being parents,
No.
and
But
now he has a parent
got-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
that.
Lady
Yeah.
Danbury and the Bridgertons, that's his family.
Yep.
So
We
y'all
did
that
it.
wrapped
We did
up.
it.
What's up?
Yay.
We were moved. Tears have been cried. Hearts have been filled
Final
with
thoughts?
love.
Vaginas have been filled with
final thoughts.
They have.
Many dicks. Many dicks.
I don't have many. I've said a lot of thoughts about the first season. I'm excited for the second season.
Oh, season 2 thoughts. then.
Yeah, I'm
You've seen it, yeah.
excited to jump into it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Season 2 thoughts.
Anthony is my fucking type, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the dark hair, the clean cut, strong jaw, the peasant shirt soaked through with water.
I'm excited for the feathers I'm excited for that. I think that's a good storyline.
B-plot. Yeah, Penelope's amazing.
With him being there now, I'm good to see what that's going to be.
Eloise is a great B plot too in season 2. It's really fun.
Yeah. Incredible.
And then I'm excited for the Bridgerton boys. I'm ready to see that. I'm probably going to continue watching it.
Yeah.
Well, we have a podcast about it. So.
We have an actual podcast. I'm looking forward to season 2. I forgot how much I love Bridgerton.
Yeah,
I forgot. So this has been like a fun, like, I plan to like play it in the background while I do stuff, and then I'm like, no, I can't.
You have to watch it.
I gotta take notes. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, like I have stuff to say.
Yeah.
Things to say.
So fun.
Because I didn't realize it was in 2022.
Yeah. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yay, the
always.
band's back together.
The band is back together. Y'all, if you have any thoughts, comments, reflections on season 1 of Bridgerton or hopes and dreams for season 2, email us at smutisbetterwithfriends@gmail.com.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Y'all know where to find us on social media. You can shoot us an email.
There are some posts.
It's a different Megan this time.
There are some posts.
Certified free.
7 days a week.
You know,
Wet ass pussy.
Ew. That's what we're going to
That makes us pull out game week.
hey! Yeah, we're not pulling out anymore. All right.
Ew.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Right before you tap
Get a
it.
bucket and a mat.
Get a bucket and a mop.
Yep.
The fact that he swallowed, fucking gross.
Get you a
I
man
did
that
not see
swallows, baby.
Play that shit. Let's get out of here. We did it.
Yeah.